The We Do Share is a part of the lesson that happens after students have had time to practice and get feedback during the activity. Now you regroup the whole class together. This might be just a quick sort of 3 or 4 minutes, but it's your last time to sort of hit some key understandings that you want to make sure that all students grasp before you sort of move on to the next thing. So this is really a time where you're having some synthesis and bringing all the learning together. The goal is that they're purposefully sharing out some key ideas that they learned about. So if you think about these different images, these help me to think about what's happening during the We Do Share. So you see the dog saying, just hearing bad dog saying, I'm going to need more feedback. So the formative assessments are time during a lesson that the teacher is learning about what the students know. So that happens a lot during that We Do Share. During the We Do as you're circulating. The We Do Share is now a time where you're building on what you noticed, what you formatively observed and assessed during their work. And now you're going to give some feedback. There's this feedback loop that's going on. So you're using this We Do Share time to bring those ideas together and adapt based upon what you saw during their work time. You want to really emphasize this growth mindset. So you might have noticed some different struggles or what different questions they had. The goal is that you're using this We Do Share time to celebrate some success that you saw and address any points of confusion. So the We Do Share is not a time where you bring everybody together and then you just go through the answers to questions 1 through 10 and just sort of, even if you noticed students all did okay on it and there were no questions, there's no need to go over it. You want to really use this time to focus on, there might have been some issues with questions 4 and 8 that were tricky. So you focus on that. That's not a time to just say to the students, how did you feel about it? Give a thumbs up or thumbs down and don't follow up. So you do want to check in and have them self-assess and say, which ones did you find difficult? But then the key is following up. So I once saw a student teacher sort of give the thumbs up, thumbs down. A student gave a thumbs down and the teacher just moved right along. And you could see the student really dejected because they sort of gave that feedback and it wasn't used on. Again, you don't want to use this time to just talk at the students, to just say, these are the key ideas that you should have gotten. The point is that they should be saying what the key ideas that they got. So you're, again, asking questions, making sure you want to revisit those key points. So in terms of the We Do Share, you want to purposefully, as you were circulating during the We Do, you're taking notes about who's going to share out and why. This is that really important part of that process, that it's sort of the planned orchestration of what you're doing. This might be a time where you're addressing any non-examples. Why didn't this work? Or what was the problem with that? So any points of confusion that you have. Again, you want to plan out some questions that you're going to ask to help students make connections. So you might have 3 students share out their solutions that they did. And then you're asking, what did you notice that was similar about it? What did the third student do that the first student didn't do? So you're building on and helping them to make their connections. Again, it's succinct. It's not a whole nother lesson. Ideally, you're doing this in just about 5 minutes. So you're revisiting it and then you're moving on you'll end with sort of a quick check to see what everybody independently can do. And then the lesson is over. So it's not a long time, because that could lead to sort of some management issues as students are sort of losing steam about the topic. So you can see in this example, a student on the weak side, just said during this We Do Share, you're just going to go around the class and review the answer to each question. You want to have much more detail in your lesson plan so that we can see your thinking about the lesson. So again, just about 5 minutes. In bold are the teacher questions, and with the stars are possible expected responses. So you can see the teacher is planning out that less than question was tricky. How did you think about it? How is it related to the more than question? So really getting at why are labels important. So you're seeing a lot of how and why questions because you're trying to get students to uncover that thinking. What's something that might be tricky about the graph? So again, getting the students to self-reflect and to bring in their own knowledge. So you want to really plan out your possible questions, possible student responses. It's not a script that you're going to follow, but at least if you've planned it out, that's a starting point to build on.